Here are 5 words every RV enthusiast should know: advocacy, community, education, resources, rewards. That's what the RV Advisor was built on, along with protecting your rights. Visit thervadvisor.com.
Little birdie told me I'd need RV advice.
Get information straight from the horse's mouth.
Little birdie told me I'd need RV advice.
It's Just Ask GiGi with Gigi Stetler and Tom Alexander. Now here's Gigi and Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Just Ask Gigi. My name's Tom Alexander, and of course, there she is, the star of the show. Hey, Gigi, how are you?
Grand. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. And it's great to see you in the new digs. You know, this is really cool because, you know, we got a peek at this before, and you're in your new office, and the new headquarters are going to be the site of a huge event this weekend. Isn't that right?
Yes. I apologize to our listeners and viewers that I did not take you in the field, but we are like in construction 101 mode, trying to get everything somewhat organized and lying down the red carpet as we speak. And you know, I lost track of time, but on the 14th of November, which was 3 days ago, was our 36th year anniversary.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a heck of a run.
I know. And what's really funny, you know, as I look back and, you know, past and then to the future and all of that, I can't even count on one hand. I'm on to my second hand of how many times someone has tried to destroy me or the company. It's like I'm almost at the end of my second hand counting.
Oh man.
And, you know, somebody or something, or, you know, someone or whatever.
Well, look, brighter days ahead with this new place and everything that we're doing. I've never looked back. I know you have. Just a reflection of like, you know, just thinking like, oh my God, you know. So I've always taken it as a compliment when someone seeks out to destroy me, because I must be powerful enough that, you know, that I'm bothering you, you know. So that's kind of, you know, just like, you know, what we stand for here at the RV Advisor. You know, I'm not the most liked, you know, in the industry, you know, among the other dealers and industry folks and, you know, RV Industry Association and RVDA and all those people, because I bucked the system. So I guess I've done it for 36 years now. So it's like, well, you know, Mavericks are the ones that resonate in the long history of whatever it is you're doing, whether it's the RV industry or medicine or art, the arts, whatever, music. You know, it's always been folks that have gone against the grain and shaken things up. Disruptors, they call them today.
Well, that's a good word for me.
You're a disruptor.
I guess. And it's just, I guess it's funny.
You have a degree in that? Is it, you have you got your master's in disruption?
I think I learned that in 10th grade, because I didn't quite make it really to the first quarter of 10th. So in 9th grade, I guess I learned that. But yeah, it's interesting that you know, that so many people are extremely complacent. And I think that's what happens, how big corporations are able to take advantage of consumers. And even though the FTC, you know, is in place to protect consumers, but you still have to get in front of them and get that far. And these big corporations with their fancy language and their contracts, which I've read enough of them in the past, you know, 2 years, you know, to see all their tricks that, you know, so you know, what happens, you know, trying to unwind, you know, those kind of contracts, you know, when there's a breach, it's so hard. So anyway, my point is that people just give up. They just don't fight because they don't, you know, they don't think that they could win, you know, and beat a big company. And I've always fought the big companies for that reason, because then they actually, believe it or not, they fold faster than you think, because they don't like trouble. So, you know, I just need more, you know,
if we can march to Washington with RVACA and more members so that
Yeah.
they have to listen to us because, and, when they start writing laws into, legislation that helps protects the consumer, that's what we need to do. We just need to keep fighting.
Well, the voice in Washington, which we always talk about, and not only that, but your own voice in multiple situations along the way. You fought for people, including yourself and the company. And gosh, I mean, when I first started there, I wasn't there for a week when you were engaged in a dispute with General Electric, and I was
right. You covered it. I forgot you covered the trial.
Yeah, and I talk about baptism by fire, but I kind of I'm like, I didn't even know where I was supposed to park. And then I go, and then I go and I go into the courtroom and I'm watching, this lady in heels go at it with one of the, giant corporations in the history of the United States. And guess what? You came out victorious. And I'm on the media side, jotting down and doing as much as I can to try to, make sense of the whole thing. I don't have a legal background, but I could certainly, I watched enough Perry Mason to kind of figure out what the heck's going on. But, we could go off on a tangent on that, but let's find out about this weekend. Beginning Thursday, right through Sunday, right? It's a 4-day event.
Thursday through Sunday. Basically a grand opening, red carpet, open house, showing everybody what we got, offering all kind of specials. We have sales on campers and parts and service, and RV Advisor members. If you're in my neighborhood, please, if you're watching, please stop by. You get free inspections anyway now, yearly inspections, which is great. Come by, make an appointment. But come by and meet us. We have giveaways. We have lots of little trinkets. We have door prizes. Bounce house for the kids, face painting. I don't know, maybe some clowns, whatever.
Not scary clowns though, right? Not scary clowns, because there's
scary clowns.
Okay.
I don't like scary clowns, yeah.
By the way, I should clear something up, because I described lady in heels, but that's how you are. You're kind of famous for your heels. So I just want to point that out. That's not some guy thing that's being,
No,
you're famous for that.
That is my signature. But since the fire, I had to, I haven't worn heels since the fire because the terrain was not so great over there.
Yeah.
So
it's temporary. It's sneakers, for now.
Wasn't just any sneakers though. So I went on a binge shopping spree of sneakers. So I got the fanciest sneakers with the jewels and the diamonds and, they're a little platformed and then since we moved here, I've been on full blown construction. Yesterday I was flying high in the boom bucket. I don't know how many feet high in the air on top of the roof, with flags. So that was quite the day yesterday. And then I was doing asphalt and digging a trench. And so anyway, that's what I was doing.
You are not afraid to get your hands dirty. I mean, I know that you're right in the thick of it and can go toe to toe with anybody out there.
Well, I have something that, being a boss and I think in any industry, in any position, don't ask your employees to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. And it actually kind of came up the other day, where the ground was a little unlevel and the asphalt was kind of breaking. So I saw under a piece of asphalt that it was concrete. So I said, well, let's just break this asphalt and look at this concrete. It's beautiful. Let's just break the asphalt, chip it up, and then we'll just, stick to the concrete. And so the guys, my two guys are like looking at me like I'm crazy. Yeah, we're breaking this. I'm not breaking this asphalt. So it's like, give me a hammer. I'll break the asphalt. So I grabbed the hammer and I just went, pow. And the asphalt went poof. And it just split just as I thought it would, so easy. So of course I'm there banging, and the asphalt's breaking everywhere like I wanted. then they got the wheelbarrow, then someone came with the chipper, and then next thing we had it all cleared, and it was beautiful. But it's just funny. The same thing with the ditch too, the other day, when we had to dig a 2-foot or 20 something inch ditch. And they were there, they cut the concrete, and then they're like just sitting there. They're, now there's dirt in the hole,
Right.
So there's a shovel there, and I just pick up the shovel, and then I just start shoveling in my heels, of course, shoveling, out of the ditch. And they're looking at me like, so anyway, they all respect me. These are new guys that started working with me that didn't know me from, before. Anybody from, our old history knows that.
Well,
but the new guys,
the message is to get out there and break your asphalt. Okay, just break your asphalt. Okay, all right. So we'll
leave it at that. Yeah,
we'll leave it at that. Okay, look,
we've
got questions. We've got questions
Awesome.
from our viewers. We'll do that on the other side. This is Just Ask Gigi. She is Gigi Stetler. I'm Tom Alexander. Back in a moment.
Watch Just Ask Gigi with Gigi Stetler and Tom Alexander. It posts every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on our Facebook page.
We're back on Just Ask Gigi along with Gigi Stetler. I'm Tom Alexander. And hey, Gigi, we got a couple of questions for you. And the first one comes from Anne. Anne is a newbie, newbie RVer, full timer, and going to go to the Carolinas, our RV parks, coastal Carolinas. Any precautions for salt air? That's interesting.
Yes. So if you're planning on full timing and parking close to the beach, you are going to get rust. It's surface rust, but I would, before you get into that salt air, look for that Rust-Oleum protective stuff to spray on the frame, like the underbelly, the frame, everything that's steel, the bottom of your jacks, because the salt air, because we have the same situation in the Keys. When, if the unit's left in the Keys for a couple of months, if it comes this way, it looks like it's 10 years old and it's brand new, so yeah, and most of it is surface rust. It's just that if you don't put the protection down first, then it's a lot harder to grind and repaint. It will come off, but it's a big task to grind off the rust, to repaint it, and you always will have those bumps. So go to your local automotive place, because cars are used to it, especially if you're from up north. And I'm sure there's, down here in Florida, we only have the Keys to worry about, but up north, automotive place that is going to be very familiar with rust protection. Same thing, just put that on the frame of the bottom of the frame of the trailer, the entire steel frame of the trailer.
Excellent. Okay. Well, Anne, thank you for that question. We also have a question from Mark, and Mark writes, any thoughts on, this is interesting, any thoughts on beefing up suspension for states notorious for potholes like Pennsylvania? And being a Pennsylvanian myself, having grown up there and spent the first 32 years of my life there, the second you cross in from any other state into Pennsylvania, it's like you're hitting potholes. Great question. I mean, is there anything you can do to actually beef up your...
Well, I don't know if you're talking about a tow vehicle or a trailer itself.
I think he's talking about the RV itself.
Okay, so there are airbags, there's leaf suspensions that you could possibly beef up, but airbags is probably your best bet, or in between the leaf suspension, if you have leaf suspension, leaf springs, to possibly get you, just to give you a little bit better shock absorbing. And make sure you get our tire and wheel protection, because it covers potholes and it pays for the replacement tire. So it's it's for the price of you can't even buy one tire for the price of the policy.
Yeah.
So it's a very good policy to buy, because normally, like if you hit one or two of those potholes, you have a good chance of puncturing the sidewall of the tire, as possible. So
Yeah,
get insurance on the tires
absolutely.
and and also make sure that you have, regular insurance, full replacement, all of that, so that if the road does do any damage, that, you're insured for the repair. And drive slow.
It drives slow. It's funny. I saw a poll. It was just an article, and it included a poll years back on truckers talking about the smoothest roads in the country, which state has the smoothest roads and which state has the roughest roads, and that includes potholes. Smoothest state, Florida, smoothest roads. Roughest, Pennsylvania. So the two states that I lived in, I came opposite ends. I went from the worst roads to the smoothest. And I have to say, when you're on the interstates here in South Florida, they really are pretty nice. I mean,
I don't find them very nice. So
you don't?
No.
Have you been to Pennsylvania?
Well, my mother's actually from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I've been there, but I was very little when not driving, but I don't drive much out of state, but
Yeah.
I've been always complaining about our roads. So I guess I should shut up if we're if we're the best roads, because I didn't get that memo, because I'm always hitting a pothole or curve or something that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Well, we do have what's called sinkholes here.
That just happened, right? I saw it on the news this morning.
I saw the same story. So yes, yeah. And so sinkholes are a thing, but because the weather is consistently warm, we don't have that kind of ice and snow that
right.
takes its toll on roads here in South Florida. Okay, so Mark, Ann, thank you for your questions. If you want to ask Gigi a question, very simple, just write us at info@thervadvisor.com. That's info@thervadvisor.com, and just in the subject line put just ask Gigi or JAG. Ask your question, we'll get it answered right here on the show. We'll come back to wrap things up right after this break. She's Gigi Stetler. I'm Tom Alexander. Back in a moment.
The rights of the RV enthusiast are important. That's why the RV Advisor has built a nationwide network of RV owners, empowering you with advice you can trust. Visit thervadvisor.com.
Wrapping things up now on Just Ask Gigi, along with Gigi Stetler. I'm Tom Alexander, and hey, Gigi, just want to remind our folks here in South Florida that, or maybe just if you're even passing through, by all means, come by the big event that's lasting 4 days. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's November 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. And all kinds of fun stuff, like you said, some food trucks and all kinds of cool events and
Oh, I did want to mention one thing that we here at RV Advisor, Planet RV, at our home base here, new base, we are seeking work campers. So if anybody is interested in working and living here on site, waterfront marine property, RV site, please give us a shout, because we are looking for a couple or to work in the store kind of thing, and be able to live on site. And also any RV Advisor members, you feel free to to drive by, bring your rig. You can stay overnight with a reservation. So those are all fun things happening here at the new place.
Terrific. And last reminder, if you want to, we like to share this all the time. You want to register your unit. Very simple. Go to rvaca.org. That's rvaca.org, soon to be your voice in Washington. For Gigi Stetler, I'm Tom Alexander. Thank you for watching Just Ask Gigi, and we'll see you again next time. I assume next week, being Thanksgiving, we'll be running a best of, but we'll be back the week after that with a brand new show. And we want to wish you a great holiday, great Thanksgiving. And we'll see you again soon.
Gobble, gobble.
So long, everybody.
Bye.